Hello, it is Friday, August 4th, 2023 at 12:05 p.m. Eastern Time, USA. I'm Mitch Miller. This is my video journal. Thought I'd do another one because after every 2 videos, I upload the videos onto my USB drives and plug them into different situations. And I want to really get this idea of the Indian pistol duels out there. Tonight I'm going to see the Beths, my favorite New Zealand band. I'm going to talk about the Beths a little bit, and Sam Neill, the actor from New Zealand. But first, some housekeeping. So I took the USB that is named Florida Vids that I took to Europe, that I've taken everywhere with me and plugged into the televisions in my hotel rooms, in my ship cabin. Took it to Seattle, I took it to Costa Rica. I put that USB as a slider USB like this. The USB slides down in, pushes up via this little slider. All the cheap USBs at Walmart are sliders. The slider on that Florida Vid USB has broken, and it starts to retract down in, and the push up slider button is disconnected somewhat, so it's hard to get it fully pushed out and able to engage into the computer or the television. These sliders are not great for putting into television sets that are not used to receiving USBs, and so they're tighter, they're harder to push in there. And that's probably why this slider has broken. So I bought a SanDisk USB that's a higher speed upload-download USB that is not a slider, that's a solid state USB that I have named Primary, and that's where I'll keep all the most up-to-date videos on, and I will take that with me to hotel rooms, boat, ships if that ever happens, so on and so forth. I'll keep that with me to put into television sets in hotel rooms, in people's guest rooms and guest houses, so on and so forth. Now when I bought that SanDisk USB, I bought a couple extra cheap slider USBs, and I transferred all of these videos onto those. So if you're an international entity, government agency that is looking to access these videos, and you want to go through the proper channels to acquire a warrant to request this information, 2 of the televisions at my parents' house have up to video 176, I believe, on them, or 178 on them, and 2 televisions. One is an LG out in my dad's garage connected to the cable system. The other is only connected through, I believe, Wi-Fi internet, and it has my Disability TV YouTube channel connected to it, signed into it. I also keep a USB with the most up-to-date videos, so I have 2 USBs that will always have the most up-to-date videos. The one is in my bedroom on my Sharp Aquos television that is only connected via antenna over the airwaves to anything. It doesn't even pick up Wi-Fi, I don't believe. That's for bedroom privacy purposes. So I took the Florida Vid USB and put it in the TCL television for the first time on Monday. I never have put these videos on that TCL television. My spouse bought that television, I believe, and I've left it on. I had a USB in there for recording memory, recording live TV, which came in handy when I picked up the Pawn Stars title page and things like that, and capturing the Jeopardy clue that was the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. So that's why I didn't access that USB. I had a memory. That smart television allows you to put a USB in and format it so that it can capture only the television over antenna. It doesn't allow you to capture any streaming television. Only television over antenna for whatever purpose. So I took that out when I was trying to get the TCL television to work, which is still broke. Backlight issue. Took that out. I put the FloridaVid USB in. That's going to stay in probably until I get it repaired. Then I don't know what I'll do with the FloridaVid USB. I'm not going to keep putting it and updating it on this computer because it's just going to break that USB to where it's not able to be used at all. So I'll probably store it somewhere, put it away somewhere. So the TCL is still broken. When it's in standby mode, there's a little white LED light at the base of it, at the bottom of it. Monday, I turned the power strip on for the television, and that standby light came on. I shut it off in the evening around when Hillary was getting home. I turned it on in the morning on Tuesday. Standby light came on until I shut it off at 5:30. Same on Wednesday and Thursday. But this morning I turned the power strip on and the standby light started blinking. The television powered on. I saw the flash of the TCL smart television come on. The television engaged and it started to come on for whatever reason. It's a little different today. I left it on and with the FloridaVid USB in and went for my walks, and when I came back the standby light was back on. The television timed out because I didn't engage in any of the menus and it timed out and went back to standby mode. I'm going to shut that off around 3 or 4. I will get the TCL television repaired. I don't want it to end up in a landfill. But if we were to buy another television, which I've been advised to buy a new television, it would be more cost effective. We probably will not be buying a TCL because it broke before the 4-year mark even, I think. And our Sharp Aquos we had back when we lived on Black Street in our apartment on Black Street in East Liberty. And that lasted at least 8 years, I think. Maybe 10 years. Maybe longer than that, and it's still working. It's just a couple lines are dead on the pixels, like 3 lines of it. It still functions pretty well. So if you pay a little extra for a better TV, it lasts longer, I guess. So that's the updates on that. Now I want to talk about the Beths. I'm going to see the Beths tonight at Mr. Small's Theater with my spouse. They're my favorite New Zealand band. They're one of my favorite bands overall. I like their message. I like their lyrics. I like their overall formula. And so I'm going to see them. I put a blurb on my website, plotm.com, referencing them, saying, hey, contact me. I have a reel-to-reel audio tape and a reel-to-reel player that I want you guys to record on your devices or collaborate and release how you want. I put a picture of that on my website. I have not been contacted by them. I wasn't in high hopes of being contacted by them. So we'll go watch and have a good time and see them tonight. What I am going to do probably at 2:30 is try to call the Prime Minister of New Zealand. I realize that it's probably 2:30 in the morning there, but I'm going to call the office just to make sure that the phone lines are open as this band is in the Pittsburgh vicinity. Make sure the Pittsburgh phone lines are open for them to be able to call back to New Zealand, and the supercomputers will see what satellite systems are engaged when I do that from my landline, or what underwater cable networks are used to complete that call. So it's an experiment in transnational communication. The other thing I wanted to say was I read a thing about actor Sam Neill. I didn't realize he was from New Zealand. He was actually born in Ireland but raised in New Zealand and considered a New Zealand actor. He was one of my favorite actors growing up. After Jurassic Park, I got kind of obsessed with him a little bit, and I taped off of my little television in my bedroom with my VCR. He starred in a made-for-TV movie called Merlin, or something Merlin. It was the story of Merlin, and he played Merlin. It was a mini-series that was on several evenings in a row, I believe, and I taped it all. Maybe 4 or 5 hour long made-for-TV movie called Merlin, or something along those lines. He played the wizard Merlin, and I taped that, and I tried to avoid the commercials, but there's probably some on there. I have that VHS tape, and I was going to offer that to Beth, the lead singer of the Beths, to deliver to Sam Neill someday. You know, just as it's kind of like experimental art, right? I taped a VHS, and who knows, maybe we could take the advertisements off of that and pursue legal action for using Sam Neill's image to advertise certain products, right? Or at least make them open the books to see how much they spent on advertising over the airwaves back in 1998 or whatever, whenever that was, when that movie came out. So that's another gift I have for Beth, lead singer of the Beths. Sorry I don't remember your last name. Sam Neill, unfortunately, the thing I read, has some kind of chronic illness that he's battling with. I forget if it was cancer or some other issue, so I hope he is able to fight that and be well as long as possible, because he is one of my favorite actors. Even though I haven't pursued his projects, he's always been one of, he was a stand-up actor in my adolescence into my adulthood that I respected and I appreciated, and I like his acting. Alright, so the last thing I wanted to talk about was, it's kind of for the Hollywood celebrities, the big name musicians. Now you may pay your studios extra, you might be under contract to your studios, and you look at it as a benefit. Either you pay extra or they provide it to you, that they protect the devices in your house and all your personal devices, right? Your televisions, your cell phones, your tablets, your laptops, your PCs. They say, we'll take care of you. We're going to make sure malicious hackers don't attack your house, attack your personal devices. We're going to make sure that fanatical fans can't find your location. We're going to make sure that hackers, can't access this equipment and spy on you, say, while you're making love to your partner, and sell that on the dark web, stuff like that, right? So you look at that as an asset. Maybe that's one reason you won't come meet with me or talk to me. I can't provide you with that protection. I'm trying to do it on my own by putting these videos in any devices that I'm around outside of my house to say if people are spying on me, at least they'll get these videos and put them out and get them to more people, and it's a way to say, maybe say, don't mess with me because I challenged the entire United States military to a duel, right? I'm not suggesting you do that as a celebrity or musician. What I am saying is that you are welcome to sit down in this chair in front of this very computer and this camera and this microphone and record a message that I'll coach you on, or that I'll write out for you, or that we can collaborate on, and record it to a USB, and I'll go buy 20 USBs if you have 15 televisions and 3 laptops and something else with a USB drive. And we'll make copies of this 10-minute, 5-minute message on a cheap USB. And you can go back to your house in Beverly Hills or wherever and plug these USBs into all your televisions, because we all know you don't use that port for anything else. And the message is designed to protect you from internet hackers and malicious actors and fanatical fans, right? So that's the best I can do, but it's something, right? You could, maybe the very act of sitting down at this computer would tag the videos in a certain way that supercomputers will protect you. The fact that you came to my house and addressed this system might afford you an extra layer of protection above what the actual message will say, that's designed to protect you and possibly prosecute hackers and things like that. So what I'm saying is, leave your studios behind, leave your record labels. The labels in the studios say they're protecting you, but they're actually keeping you from speaking with underground artists like me that can change the entire industry with a little bit of capital, a little bit of down payment from you, and you being willing to stand up for what is right, for empowering artists, and using copyright and art substance to create a better, more equitable and fair society and world. So that's what I'll leave you with. I invite any, we'll say, celebrity or musician worth over $1 million to come and do that. Come sit in this seat and say this message that we can work on together. And yeah, so what I'll close with is this. There have been times that I've been off my medication. There have been other times where I was on medication where I've become spirited and yelled and became loud and boisterous. And I'll say this, if you had as many potential investigations into the corruption that men perpetrate all over the world, that they could be torturing people, and you've been in these situations and you've witnessed it, wouldn't you become emboldened and inspirited too? So don't let them play clips of me in my living room doing my modcast screaming about stuff and scare you away from coming to talk to me. I'm a very calm person. It's just there's a lot of potential malfeasance and corruption out there, and I get frustrated like any person, and it's taken several incarcerations for me to be able to patiently compartmentalize all of that and wait for the funding, for the support from a senator or someone with money to say, we want you to pursue these investigations. We want to know what's really going on. What are these men doing? How are our corporations corrupt? How is our government corrupt? You know, and get to the truth and the reality of things, because the supercomputers guided me throughout my travels and journeys, and they provided me with information when I access things on the internet. I might see things that when you Google search don't come up for you, and then I pursue those to a certain degree. I handwrite down specific things to aid me in that, and that's how I investigate. So I'm not really a journalist, I'm more of an investigator, right? So don't let them scare you away by playing the most intense clips of me, hypothetically wiretaps in my living room, or videos abroad, or anything like that. I am a very calm, collected, and even-keeled person. When I'm off my medication, I do get a little bit more intense, but not always, and I don't plan on going off my medication anytime soon. So that's what I leave you with. If you're informed as to all the investigations I propose, which I've been putting out on social media to try to get some attention, wouldn't you scream at the top of your lungs every once in a while? So that's what I wanted to say. Oh, and included in some of those investigations, I've investigated hotel chains, hotel companies, like Trump International Hotel. When I saw that in Washington, D.C., I knew I had to get the hell out of there and criticize Trump for having a hotel in downtown D.C. where he could have lobbyists. And he did. He had Saudi and Middle Eastern people in there all the time, spending a bunch of money in there. I went in before I left D.C. and I said, in front of the registration computers to a clerk in there, I said, "Is Donald Trump here?" So if there's voice recognition software out there somewhere running, before Trump took office, before he was even elected, I went in and voice verified in his hotel downtown D.C. Anyhow, I've investigated hotel chains. The best one that I think that you could check into in Pittsburgh is the Wyndham. There's one downtown, but there's one within walking distance of my house, the Wyndham Hotel in the Oakland neighborhood. It's right near the Cathedral of Learning at the University of Pittsburgh. You could walk to my house. I can walk to your place. And remember, being of substantial wealth, you should be able to call ahead of time to the hotel and say, "I do not want a television in my room. I want you to take the television out of my room before I get there. Unplug it, unhook it, put it in a storage closet somewhere. I don't want a television in my room." Right? So those are options. If you don't want to be out in the boondocks, up in western Pennsylvania, in some trailer, at some trailer park, totally understand. Come to the city of Pittsburgh. We'll work it out. We'll figure it out. And thanks for watching. And join me next time, probably sometime next week. Until then, and always, I wish you peace, prosperity, and homeostasis.